At this rate, we've all heard about the passing of Kevin Samuels. Some unfortunate news yesterday morning. He passed away of cardiac arrest. And actually, it's one of the leading causes of death for black men. The manosphere reacts. Actually, social media reacts. Some people are rejoicing his death. Some people, especially the manosphere, are mourning his death. He's a very polarizing figure. Now, I could never stand here and support somebody's death, regardless of how that person chose to live their life. I think that as individuals, we have to respect that this is a human being that has died. You might not agree with his rhetoric, and I certainly do not agree with most of the things that, he was promoting on social media. But I'm not going to stand here and actually rejoice his death, which is quite disturbing that people are doing this. Everybody has reported it, from Fox News, TMZ, the Shade Room. I think that it takes them a while to actually report this because they want to report facts. I don't think they want to go around like Hollywood on lock, just reporting things and it's not factual. So they really need a lot of verification before they go out and make these statements. That's why they're only just reporting it a day later, today on the 6th of May, but it did happen yesterday morning. Kevin Samuels, unfortunately, a lot of the messages that he was promoting on social media were extremely harmful towards black women. His content was very promoted misogynoir. Misogynoir is a description of not just misogyny, but specifically misogyny against black women. And, you look at all these manosphere channels, mourning their death. They have the right, to mourn somebody that, he built a lot of relationships with other YouTubers that make similar content. Mourning his death, he was a friend dear to a lot of them. And I understand the need for them to do that. That said, regardless of all of that, what is his legacy? And a lot of them there are still celebrating his legacy, hoping that it lives on. And don't get me wrong, Kevin Samuels, there was a lot of half-truths that he said. There's a lot of stuff that he said that did make some sense. But unfortunately, the vast majority of his content, because he always sort of advertised this idea that you guys only see the snippets. Have you actually sat down and watched my videos? And I've actually sat down and watched a good number of his videos. And a lot of times I was, agreeing with him. But he does have videos where he promotes violence against women and even sexual abuse against children.
The best course of action is to slap a woman. At that point, once you've exhausted all other options, then a slap becomes a good option. You cross a certain line with a man, we're going to have to shoot the fair one. We know that. You can be in a wheelchair, you can be on a crutch, you can, whatever. You can be special. You got to do that. But see, there is no low-level threat of violence between women and men today. Women are allowed to be verbally disrespectful beyond the point of reason because there's no consequence, because they don't fear the repercussion. Anybody familiar with the concept of domestic discipline? No, domestic discipline, in a nutshell, is me and Courtney are married. And Courtney and I are vibing. But Courtney knows that she can get on one sometimes. And we sit down and say, when you get on one, and after we go through the process, and I use the safe word, banana split, and you still stay on one after I say banana split. You heard me say banana split. I acknowledge you heard me say banana split, and you stay on one. Well, then it's time for the domestic discipline. And it is exactly what it sounds like. Lay across the knee and on the hand. I am not kidding. I am not kidding. And what I would do is I lay down, get the paddle out. All right, now, Courtney, banana split. And you go.
Let's say you and I were to get married. You got a daughter, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say we have 2 kids together. Mm-hmm. And your child is 5. So 10 years from now, your daughter comes home and said, Kevin touched and looked at me getting out of the shower. What happens next?
The relationship will have to end.
Huh?
That's not something, the relationship would end immediately.
Because your daughter said I looked at her getting out of the shower.
Why would that person even be close to the bathroom to see her?
Mm-hmm.
That would be the thing. You have to defend your seed. You have to defend your child.
Mm-hmm. But you also remember you got 2 of my kids. And off rip, your protective instinct says everything, including those other 2 kids. And you know kids can say anything.
They can, but you have to protect your kids at all costs.
Then
and you got to talk.
Then no. What about those children we have together? Man, you're not right in this. Let's switch the situation. If I'm that child's biological father and she comes out of the shower and 10 years later, daddy looked at me a certain kind of way and I'm her biological dad, then what do you say? Why would you not question your child? Why would you not question your dad? Why would you not just say, girl, whatever, that's your daddy? Why would you blow up a marriage? Why would you just believe her?
Why would I just believe my daughter?
Yeah, children lie.
So unfortunately, I don't think that this is somebody that, I don't think he deserves to die or anything as extreme as that, God forbid. But I do think that YouTube as a platform had a responsibility to take that type of content off of its platform. No, this is very disturbing messages that you're spreading amongst young men, right? And yes, there's this idea that he's giving young men hope, and I understand that, but he's also giving hope to abusive people. There are a lot of people that have talked about getting into these marriages, and then their spouses then start watching Kevin Samuels, and they end up divorcing. So there's this narrative that Kevin Samuels' mission was to unify Black men and Black women. And he used to spew this rhetoric a lot in his content, that this is what he's doing. He's brought so many couples together. He loved to, talk about this a lot. But in reality, when you listen to the content, when you listen to his belittling of women, when you listen to his promotion of violence against women and his promotion of sexual assault against children, when you listen to this content, there is no way that you can position it as though that's what you were doing. And in reality, his legacy, whilst there are elements of it that are important, that stays within the Black community, at least he started this conversation. I think the community needs healing. I think healing is important. And unfortunately, I do not believe that he promoted any sort of healing. In fact, I believe he promoted the opposite of that. So in that regard, I think that YouTube should have taken down his platform. Personally, that's what I think. But at least at this stage, it's not as though we're not going to get more of this content. People are going to try and be the next Kevin Samuels. Now, I don't know that anybody will get to the heights that he got to. Most of these YouTubers, they don't really have more than 500,000, but he had like 1.4 million, almost 3 times the number that these other people have. And he really got to that new height. But I hope that the next person that comes up, that might come up, actually does what Kevin Samuels was pretending as though he did, right? I hope this person actually comes out and promotes unification, actually comes out and promotes it instead of promoting some of the atrocities that Kevin Samuels was promoting. I think ultimately having a platform on social media is a very powerful tool. You directly educate people, you directly influence people. And I think that it's so important to use a platform, of 1.4 million followers to actually build a better society and actually promote quality behaviors in people. I watched the roommates, Hafiz from the roommates react, and I've seen a few of the Manosphere's, reactions to Kevin Samuels' death, and I thought Hafiz, what he had to say was very potent. Hafiz is more, you see, when it comes to sort of this dating hemisphere, you have the men and women that are extreme on one side, you have the men and women that are on the other side, and then you have the people, the men and women that are in the middle. And I find that Hafiz is really in the middle and very balanced, and about really promoting healthy relationships or healthy dynamics in men. I hope to see more people like that elevated on YouTube, as opposed to the people that actually just either denigrate either gender, because I'm not taking sides when it comes to the gender thing. There are women that go online and they spew disgusting things about men, just as bad as Kevin Samuels. So I think these gender wars, I hope that in his death, we all wake up and we all see this is an opportunity for us to unite. This is an opportunity for us to heal. This is an opportunity for us to have open conversations about how we can work together, because ultimately, like it or not, men and women roam this planet together. When it comes to Kevin Samuels, I saw a lot of comments about the irony of his death. A lot of, comments about the fact that, this is someone that told a lot of women that you're going to die alone. The irony of him dying alone. And I don't think that's the message. I don't think that's the lesson. And I don't think it's a karma situation. I think this is just an individual that passed away. He must have had some issues with his heart. And this is, like I said, this is a leading cause of death for Black men in America. So this, it's really unfortunate that this happened to him. A lot of the people that don't support Kevin Samuels are men. It's not just women. A lot of men also do not support Kevin Samuels. And these are Black men too. I mean, like I said, a lot of mixed reactions, a lot of mixed reviews. Obviously, I do not condone the celebration of somebody's death. But at the same time, I also do not support the rhetoric that he was spewing online. I just hope that this encourages healing moving forward. Healing within the Black community and just the dating hemisphere in general, for people to work to unify, for people to seek real healing, real health, real healing instead of toxic, misogynistic ways of abusing their significant others. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. My name is Kenim, and see you next time. A peace.